What's up, it's you? For today's video, with a full Finizen evolution team. Super Bowser, this one is for you. So we got Finizen, Palafin, and we've got Palafin hero form. So I'll be using 4 Pokemon today. I'll be using 2 Finizen and 2 Palafin. I'm going to try and do 2 hero forms, and of course using Finizen in its baby form is going to be a very big challenge today. Now, today is a double upload. I did put a video up earlier, the highest special defensive stat Pokemon team for Generation 9, so make sure you have checked that one out as well, and let's get into it. If we got a Donphan lead here, now this Donphan is actually going to get a pretty hard jet punch to the face. But then I thought, nah, I'm going to swap out the Palafin and go into the Finizen, because I want that to go into its hero form a little bit later on. So we got the Donphan going for Earth Power. It's a special set, which is pretty cool. And I've got this Rest, Sleep, Talk, Liquidation, Tickle My Pickle Finizen set. Oh, that did like a little backflip. That was so cool. So I'm going to be dropping the attack and defense of the Donphan so I can hit it a little bit harder with the I guess the liquidation, because it's got some pretty good high like base defense. So now I'm going to be going for a rest here. I can see the Donphan is like a it's like a mix set. It's got Trailblaze and Earth Power, so kind of interesting. So the EVs on this Finizen, I know you're absolutely can't wait to hear it. We got Max Health. It's actually got quite a good health stat. Does Finizen and Palafin. So we've got Max Health and Max Speed, Jolly Nature, Rest, Sleep, Talk, Liquidation, and Tackle. Water Veil is the ability, of course, Everlight as the item. So I'm going to be going for Liquidation, trying to get some good damage on the Donphan, and Donphan had a weakness policy, so that was a little bit of a surprise. So I'm like, okay, I'm probably not going to be living this turn. Trailblaze is going to be hitting a lot harder too. However, with the Everlight and Finizen's nice bulky and health, I actually managed to live that. However, it's going to follow it up with an Ancient Power. Good thing here was it didn't get an Ancient Power boost, because I would have been in a lot of trouble. Anyway, question of the day. Do you like Finizen and Palafin? Like, what do you think of these Pokemon? Do you like them? Do you like how it has the mechanic of swapping the Pokemon out and then swapping it back in to get like a more powerful form? I think it's really cool. I always like those sort of little type-changing gimmicks. But let me know about it. Palafin itself is a very, very powerful Pokemon. I don't know why they gave such incredible stats to like such a, I don't know, to a dolphin, you know? I don't know why they did. I'm sure there's some rhyme or reason behind it. Anyway, so in comes Poo Totteria. I'm not sure how to say that, but that's a frozen poo for sure. So we got this Garchomp. It's frozen solid. It's letting it go. I can go for a second Ice Beam and take it out. Now, this is my special Palafin. It is Boom Burst, Terra Blast Ground, Hydro Pump and Ice Beam, Max Special Attack and Max Speed. This is also a battle against Barker Fred as well. I forgot to mention that. So we got Scyther. Scyther, for some reason, it doesn't even look at you. It's like looking the other way. I'm not sure why. Like, you know, if you, it's not looking at power, it's looking like Gangster Grandma on the side. Anyway, so I'm going to be going for an Ice Beam, going for another Freeze Axe here. What's that? Gutter? Kirby? Well, let me read that again. I think it said Kirby. Kariba. All right, Tadjador. I don't know what this team is. Can anyone let me know what this team is? Because I'm trying to conjure something, but I just don't know what it's going to be. So swapping out that Palafin here, we're going to want that Palafin hero form when I swap it back in. And now I'm going to go into the Palafin, which is now transformed with the 0 to hero. Talonflame is going to be going for a fly in the sky, and I'm going to be swapping out my Palafin because I don't really want to be taking that damage. So into Finizen now. This is the Focus Sash Finizen. This is a pretty cool set. So let me bring this up real quick. So we've got a Counter Acrobatics Waterfall and Bounce set. And this is going to be Max Speed, Hasty Nature, and Max Attack, Water Veil, and Focus Sash. So go for Waterfall, and Talonflame almost goes down, and I fake to a Rocky Helmet. Come on, man. So that's going to be it off Finizen, a Troll Rocky Helmet. Oh, I had Will-O-Wisp. They went for a Will-O-Wisp Disrespect. Anyway, next Pokemon is the Palafin. This is a special set. We are in our hero, 0 to hero form, and I can go for any attacking move. I've got Boom Burst with the Throat Spray, so, you know, that's going to be hitting reasonably hard. And with Palafin, it actually does have a nice special attack stat too. Like, even if you try and run a special one, it is still pretty good. So getting that special attack boost there, we've got the Scyther still left that looks the other way, and we've got a Shorter? I'm not sure. So we've got a Terra here, so I thought I'm sure this is going to be going for a electric type move. So the good I found with Palafin, definitely a good terror to go for is ground, because it's only a water type, so it's only weak to two things, so electric and grass. So I'm going to be going for that boom burst here. Good damage there on the Electros, and they're going to go for a confuse ray. So no electric type move whatsoever. So I've got a couple of chickens flying around my head. Now, my opponent actually makes a really, really daring play here. Now, this is going to be a terror, so I'm thinking, well, if I get around the confusion, I can just feint this. So I wonder what it's going to be. So it's going to be a terror water Electros there. And yeah, so I know they're going for a water move, and I'm thinking, well, I just need to attack this. Any move will take this outright. And Palafin hits itself in confusion. I'm like, oh, that was such a bad luck confusion. Here comes the liquidation, and that is the end of the Palafin there. Very interesting. I guess Palafin is a very first like dolphin Pokemon, or dolphin-like Pokemon. Next is going to be the Palafin, and this is the physical set. I've got Drain Punch, and that is going to be enough to take out the Electros. Now, this was definitely the best set on my team. It was quite a competitive set. I kind of had to do it with only 4 Pokemon, so I've got Jet Punch, Drain Punch, Flip Turn, and Ice Punch, Assault Vest as the item, max attack and max speed, Atom and Nature. So that's going to be the end of the Persian there. I gave it a good Drain Punch. Out comes the Scyther that doesn't look at you. I'm going to go for the Jet Punch there, and that is going to crit it. Now, that is the last Pokemon, and that is the end of the game. It's almost like Scyther only looks at you when you attack. Like, it's kind of interesting. So thank you, Fred and Rick, for the battle there. Let's get on to battle number 2. Also, if you want to support the channel, make sure you hit that like button too. Only takes a second there. And yeah, I really like Palafin. I think it's a really cool Pokemon. Whose favorite Pokemon is Palafin out of all of them? Second battle here. This one is against Super Bowser. And we've got a very, very toxic lead, which is going to be Glimmer. So I'm going to be swapping out my Palafin into the Finizen. So, interesting enough, the toxic lead is going to be swapping out too, and we got a Scarlet coming in. It's not often you actually get to see a Scarlet, so I'm like, I wonder what this is going to be. So I went for the tickle there, did a little bit of a backflip there. I like how when it does a backflip, the little ring sort of like expands and goes back on the tail. So it's going to go for a Poison Tail, and Poison Tail actually gets a crit there. So maybe it's some sort of like poisoning set. Out comes Jolteon called Stadium Sweep. Now I know what they're referring to. They're referring to a Jolteon that swept me on Pokemon Stadium recently, and the Belly Drum Jolteon that swept me as well. So, you know, they're trying to get a sweep with this Jolteon. So Jolteon's going to go for a Thunder Wave. They're paralyzing my Finizen. I can't allow this to happen. So I'm going to go for Liquidation here. Good damage. It's not bad. Not bad at all. And I got a defense drop on top of that. So that's pretty nice. Now this Jolteon, for some reason this Jolteon has leftovers. Like, what is going on with this set? Now we've got a Terra Jolteon. So you'd have to think that it's going to be going for some sort of electric move. And yeah, it's sort of just like, what electric move will it actually be today? Also, there will be no stream tonight, people, because I'm at a wedding at the moment. So these videos will be pre-uploaded for Friday night. Anyway, so in comes the Thunder Shock from Jolteon, Terra Thunder Shock, and that just wipes out my Pokemon. So this Jolteon with Thunder Shock is going to be very, very scary. We're going to go into Palafin, and then we're going to swap it right out. It was sort of difficult with this team, because 2 of the Pokemon, well, both the Palafins, I need to bring them in and swap them out. So my other Finizons really tended to take a lot of damage. So Jolteon went for a Detect then. So it's got Detect and Thunder Shock. I Detect the scum on this set. So, of course, now they're going to go for a Thunder Wave on my Finizon here. And this was the counter set with Waterfall. So I was hoping I could get a Waterfall off, but I never got one because I got paralyzed. Like, oh, here we go. Here we go. So now the Jolteon is going to get another round of leftovers there. Bulky Jolteon. Maybe it's got some. Now they're going to go for a Shadow Ball. Maybe expecting me to go for like a Ground Terror. I had Focus Sash anyway, so I would have lived the Thunder Shock. And I got a great damage off there with the Waterfall. Thanks to the Liquidation and Tickle I used earlier on. Next Pokemon is going to be Inteleon. So Inteleon is going to be able to outspeed me there, poke its finger at me, and take me out with the dankest pole. So that's the end of my Finizon. So I've got 2 Palafins left. So we got the physical Palafin here. So I can go for any attacking move. Inteleon is going to be swapping out of this matchup, and in comes this Scarlet. So I'm like, okay, I wonder what this is going to be. So I went for Flip Turn here. Flip Turn, I guess you could say, well, it's not a signature. I guess Jet Punch is its signature on But you see Flip Turn a lot on Palafin for its ability. So we're going to go into the special set here. I've got my 0 to hero. I'm going to go for Boom Burst, and Scarlet lives it. It's like a super, super tanky Everlight set. I mean, it does have a pretty nice base for a baby Pokemon. So I've boosted up my special attack. Scarlet is going to go for a Toxic. So it's like, I'd say it's probably like a stalling set or something based around, poisoning the opponent. Probably has like Poison Point as the ability or something, something troll. Like, imagine that Poison Point, Poison Tail, and Toxic all in the one set. So that is going to be it of the Scarlet there. It's good. It's always good to get rid of a Scarlet in a children's game of Pokemon. So the bad thing is I actually am poisoned. Next one is going to be the Glimmora. I was like, well, I should be able to take this out, no worries. So I'm going to be going for a Terra Ground on Palafin, and that is going to be, 4 times super effective. Should be able to take it out easy peasy. Maybe this has like Venoshock. I'm thinking this has Venoshock. That was what I was thinking when it came out. So that's going to go for Spiky Shield first. I guess I hope to get a little bit of damage from Spiky Shield and then go for Venoshock. That was the plan here. So Spiky Shield is going to do some extra damage to me with the Toxic, not so much like a physically contacting move. So I'm going to be going for the Terra Blast here on the Glimmora. And yeah, Glimmora is absolutely not going to be living that one. So it's good to get rid of that. But I'd say it might have advantage. I could be wrong about that, but it might have been. So Toxic's going to do more damage. I've got 2 more turns left, then it's going to faint. Out comes Inteleon. I went for Terra Blast here. It's my most powerful move at the moment. And Inteleon lived on like the tiniest bit of health, and it's going to finish me off with a Snipe Shot. Me being a ground type, it is going to be super effective. Now, it was interesting here because Inteleon actually had a leftovers too. I'm like, why does this have leftovers? So maybe a couple of these sets have like substitute. I don't really know. So out goes the Inteleon. At this stage, I was like, well, I should just go for like a Jet Punch here or anything. So I went for the Jet Punch here on the Iron Treads. Almost took it out. Now, funnily enough here, the Iron Treads actually got a Quick Claw, and it went for a Quick Claw Mud Slap. It looked like it fired some dirt at me there. So it did like 1 damage. I just went for a Flip Turn here, and that's the... I don't know why I didn't go for Jet Punch. I'm not sure why I went for... Maybe I think I might have misclicked there instead of going for Jet Punch. So anyway, the next Pokemon is going to be Sword Spike. I went for Ice Punch here. Sword Spike lived on 1 health. You wouldn't read about it, and now it's going to go for a Bullet Seed. It's like, I hope this doesn't have... I hope this does have loaded dice. So there's 3 hits. I'm like, yeah, it's got loaded dice, but it didn't. Instead of having that right, he had some other item, and that item was going to be Life Orb. So I was like, wow, that's super lucky. Last Pokemon is going to be Italian. I can go for a Jet Punch, no misses for Mud Slap, and that is the end of the second battle. But that 1 health lift there really scared me on Swordsbuck for sure. Thank you, Super Bowser, for the battle there. Hope you enjoyed the 1 health lift there and the 3 bullet seeds instead of 4. So we're going to get on to the third and final battle here. This is a battle against Pip Nightbot. This person has been trolling me since X and Y. They've been bringing troll teams for like 10 years on my streams, my battles, all that sort of stuff. Now, the first Pokemon is going to be Sunkern. So I was like, well, I wonder what you're going to use. So we're going to swap out of the Palafin into the Finizen. Now, the Sunkern is going to go for a Trailblaze here, boosting up its speed. It actually did a pretty good amount of damage there to my Finizen. So I'm going to go for the Tickle here. I was going to, I don't know why I didn't go for Counter there. I was thinking maybe it had like, I don't know, Giga Drain or something like that. And the Sunkern is going to go for Absorb. So it's got Absorb instead of that. So Absorb did, wow, what a set. Trailblaze and Absorb. This is a, this is a top tier Sunkern set. Now Sunkern's going to go for another Trailblaze there, only doing a little bit of damage. So it's going to boost its speed once again. And now it's going to outspeed me, and that's 3 Trailblazers and 1 Absorb. It's a pretty amazing set. So I put a Liquidation here, and I didn't really have much else. I only had Liquidation to attack. And now it's going to go for a Trailblaze. I lived on 1 health there. I wish I had something like, Flail would have been amazing. And I went for a second Liquidation, and Sunkern lived on 1 health, and then it finished me off with a Tackle. Wow, what a set there. So hang on, what did that Sunkern have? That Sunkern had Absorb? Wait, it's got Protect as well. So Protect, Absorb, Trailblaze, and Tackle. What the hell? What sort of set is that? Anyway, I went for the Jet Punch here to finish off the 1 health Sunkern in case it had like, I was thinking it might have it like Endeavor or something like that. Next Pokemon is Chien Pao. I was like, oh, this is a scary one. So I just went ahead and went for a Jet Punch here. Jet Punch actually critted Chien Pao, which is pretty nice. So at this stage, I swapped my Palafin out because I wanted the Palafin hero, and I went into the Finizen. This is the Focus Sash one. And then I went for Sheer Cold, and Sheer Cold actually allowed me to live on 1 health because I had a Focus Sash, so that was pretty funny. Now, here I went for the Acrobatics, and that's got some decent damage, I guess, and now it's going to finish me off with the Brick Break. So that's going to be the end of the Finizen. So a Sheer Cold Chien Pal. Very, very nasty. Now I'm going to go into my Palafin here. So Palafin already has the 0 to hero. It's ready to rock and roll. I'm going to go for Jet Punch here, and that is enough to take out Chien Pao. I wonder if Chien Pao ever gets sick of having those swords inside of its mouth, you know. They'll be like very, very uncomfortable. Next Pokemon is going to be Ting Lu. It's got the Vessel of Ruin, and I'm hoping to ruin it. So I went for the flip turn here. Good damage out of Ting Lu. Ting Lu's got a lot of bulk to it. So here I'm going to go into my special Palafin, and Ting Lu actually busts out a very problematic move. It goes for a fissure. It's a Pip Night special, and that is the end of my Palafin. It's funny that I actually suggested, with Ting Lu fissure on Ting Lu right when it came out. And, now it's funny how people are actually using it in competitive and stuff like that. So we've got this Palafin as my only Pokemon left. I was like, this is going to need to be a mega clutch. So out goes the Ting Lu, and we got the next Pokemon. Oh, no, I've never done any of this sort of stuff in my life here. So I actually went for the Jet Punch here on the baby Frigibacks, and then I went for a Drain Punch here, because Drain Punch is going to be super effective here, but I've never done any of those naughty things there at all. I decided actually to go for the Terra Fighting here, because if I went for the Terra Fighting, I could go for even more base power. I didn't do it against Frigibacks, so I want to sort of like wait. So that's the end of the Frigibacks there. It was sliding on top of an iceberg. That's what that name meant. And the next one is going to be the Cinderace called GG. All right, fair enough. Well, I can take this out with a water move, but I don't know what the Terra's going to be. I mean, they haven't Terra'd yet. So I've got Jet Punch and Drain Punch here. I can go for a Terra Fighting, and that should be a good amount of damage. I could go Terra Fighting Jet Punch or Terra Fighting Drain Punch or even Flip Turn. I decided to go for the Drain Punch here. I wasn't really sure what, Terra's... If it did go for a Terra, I wasn't really sure. Like, you might not even go for Terra. There's like, 3 other Pokemon. So I'm going to be going for that Terra Fighting regardless. I've got that big fist on top of my head, and I'm ready to use it, you know? I've actually who's patted a dolphin in real life? I have. We got like a dolphin... So like a dolphin enclosure thing, well, it's not close to where I live, but, sort of in the area. And you can go there in the water with them, and they sort of like swim up to you, and you can pat them and stuff like that in the wild, which is, pretty cool. So anyway, I'm going to get some solid damage there. Then my opponent goes for a Terra. I'm like, is this going to be like Terra Ghost or Terra what? I don't know what it's going to be. And it turned out to be Terra Fighting. So I'm like, well, that's not going to matter unless you've got, like, a sucker. I've got Jet Punch anyway, so that's going to be the end of the GG. Maybe they didn't have any other Terra types to use there, but I don't know. Like, it would seem like a little bit of a pointless Terra. Next is going to be Ting Lu. I guess Ting Lu doesn't really need to Terra because they're relying on trying to hit me with Fissure, correct? So... I don't know. So I'm going to go for a Drain Punch here. I've got the Terra, but this is very bulky. Yeah, it lived it really easy, and I got some health back. But it doesn't matter how much health back I get. If I get hit by Fissure, I am done and dusted. Fissure is going to miss, which is very, very good. And now I can finish off the Ting Lu. So we've got one more Pokemon left here, and we've got that Sunkern that's left on 1 out. That's not going to be a problem at all. So I'm going to go for the second Drain Punch here on the Drain Punch. I punched right in the cereal bowl, and that's the end of Ting Lu. I always imagine Ting Lu with some, it's got some wheat bix inside there. Pour a little bit of milk in, you can eat it right out of its own cereal bowl. Next Pokemon is going to be Greninja. So Greninja... I don't know, maybe, I'm trying to think what happened. Extra sensory? That's probably the best move it could use against me. They're going to go for an Ice Beam, and it's going to be a Protein Ice Beam. I was hoping for no Freeze Axes. That did pretty good damage, but Palafin's got so much bulk about it, It's such an amazing Pokemon in terms of stats. So I'm going to go for Drain Punch, and Greninja is going to get dropped like a stone. All that's left now is going to be the Sunkern, and I've got the Aqua The Jet Puncher. I was thinking of Aqua Step. They're both signature water type moves. So out comes the Sunken. I can go for the Jet Punch and finish it off, and that is the end of the third battle. Speaking of threes, I've got one more 3-stage evolution left in Gen 9, and then we're sort of on to like all the 2-stage Evo ones. Anyway, people, hope you enjoyed tonight's video. Drop a like if you did there. I'll be back with some streams and more content tomorrow. Peace out.